Royals baseball and another warm, sunny evening in Kansas City. The Royals got the homestand off to a good start last night, beating the Orioles 3-2. Hi, everyone, and welcome back to the ballpark with Rex Hudler. I'm Ryan Lefevre. Joe Goldberg and Jeff Montgomery will join us in just a moment. Well, the Royals are starting to get things going. They've won 4 of their last 5. The offense is starting to pick up. Eric Hosmer seems to be right in the middle of all that, but his surge began, Hud, about 3 weeks ago.
Yeah, you know, he started off extremely slow like he has most of the year, but right now, that's what he's doing to the baseball. He's tearing the cover off of it, and it's fun to see. They're clutch hits, too. They're not just a base hit to get on. He's stirring up the drink, driving the bus, as we like to say, finding the holes. Look at him, whether it's to left field, right field, center field, if it's over the fence, and when he needs one, he's coming through. That's what a premium cleanup hitter does, and he's learning it, finding it, but using the whole field has been a big key for him, especially those go-ahead RBIs. He's been clutch.
Lorenzo Cain has picked things up over the past 2 weeks at the plate, but all season long he's been right in the middle of things with his glove, by drawing walks, and with his legs. Kansas City is brought to you by Academy Sports and Outdoors. For all, for less. 2 hottest Royals right now might be Eric Hosmer and Salvador Perez, but if we're talking about the guy who's been there all season for the Royals, the most steady Royal this year, probably Lorenzo Cain.
From day one, he's been the guy who's really been somebody they can lean on, and he's been consistent in all areas. But really, what's been special? He's picking up the Gerard Dyson in steals. He's, you know, that what Dyson brought to this team. Locane's bringing it now. Look at this. He's hitting the ball to all fields. He's stealing the bases, like I told you. 10 bags on the season. But I'll tell you, when it comes with the clutch RBIs and getting the runners in, he's been doing that as well. 381. That's what Locane brings to this team. Consistency.
Danny Duffy had another good start for the rotation last night. Now it's Nate Carnes. Joel Manni will talk about him. He struck out 10 in his last start against the Rays.
incredible night for baseball at Kauffman Stadium as we honor moms out there all weekend long. The boys in blue, the boys in white and pink tonight. Joel Goldberg, Royals Hall of Famer, Jeff Montgomery. All right, Monty, Nate Carnes, in his last 2 starts in April, gave up 10 runs and 5 home runs. Flip the page to May, and so far 2 starts in, he's been a totally different pitcher, as we see in Archaea in the driver's seat. So what's changed for Nate?
First of all, he's been a really good pitcher in his career during the month of May, but more importantly to me, he's been really sharp. His fastball's been very sharp. It's allowed him to get in counts where he can use his breaking ball. His breaking ball to me is his put-away pitch, but that pitch is thrown out of the strike zone. Normally, hitters are not recognizing that pitch. They're swinging at it regardless of where it is. As a result, he's getting either soft contact or he's missing bats. As a result, tremendous numbers for him during his last 2 starts.
And he is not walking anybody, striking out a lot. Chris Tillman, not much of a book on him yet this year because he's only made 1 start. That was last weekend, coming off of the disabled list. More coming up from Kauffman Stadium.
Kansas City is brought to you by the Missouri Lottery. Every ticket played gives back to Missouri schools. So play it forward with the Missouri Lottery. By Menards, save big money at Menards on all your home improvement needs. And by Ford, going further so you can. 6-game homestand for the Royals. Off to a good start last night with a 3-2 victory over the Orioles, the team with the 2nd best record in the American League. A victory tonight, and the Royals win back-to-back series for the first time this year. Nate Carnes, Chris Tillman, first pitch coming up next. Better tonight. Sunshine, blue sky, 79 degrees with a nice breeze out of the south for the Royals and the Orioles tonight. It is Mother's Day weekend. Typically the players wear the pink uniforms and caps and shoes and batting gloves, and they swing the pink bats on Mother's Day. But this year all teams around the big leagues will celebrate Mother's Day this weekend, today and tomorrow, and also bring awareness to breast cancer research.
Love those socks, the shoes, loud and proud of moms, believe it.
Orioles have been swinging the bats well lately. In their last 9 games they are hitting over 300 as a team, but last night Danny Duffy, Joakim Soria and Kelvin Herrera held the Orioles to just 2 runs on 9 hits. And now Nate Carnes takes the mound tonight, making his 7th start for the Royals.
Oh, that beautiful sunshine you're seeing here at the K. The weather couldn't be any better. It's a beautiful night. Now Carnes, he's been finding his breaking ball is his best pitch for sure, but he's got to set it up with that fastball. Opponents are hitting 231. That's a pretty good average against. He's holding the opponents down. Walks haven't been a real issue, although at times have caught him off guard. Strikeouts 36, 35 1/3. That means he's a power pitcher. And now for the Royals defense, we're going to highlight Jorge Bonifacio, 2nd career start in left field. Look, see it, go get it, make the catch, keep it simple.
And it will be easier to do that in left field than it will be in right field for the first few innings. Seth Smith leads off. He was the last man in the box last night. As a pinch hitter, he flied out to left field against Kelvin Herrera to end the game. Slice toward left center field. Kane is on it. 2 pitches, 1 out.
What the Baltimore Orioles will be seeing from Nate Carnes is what we're going to show you from this season. His pitch breakdown: fastball, curveball, changeup. Now, when you're facing a powerful offensive lineup like these guys, you need more than 2 pitches. I think they like to see a little bit more than 17% of changeups against these guys, because you got to have 3 pitches if you're going to stay in the game long enough and face each guy 3 times. You need more weapons, and he's got a good one. Let's just see how it goes and how it's working for him out there with these hitters to determine how much he'll use it. But there's no doubt about it, that curveball is his strikeout pitch.
He doesn't need the glare. His curveball's good enough, but he does have the glare for the first few innings, at least tonight. He's in the shadows, the hitters are in the shadows, but the backdrop is still in the bright sunlight. And Jones didn't pick up the spin there, and he's down 0-2.
And I'm not so sure, even with it pitch black and the lights out here, that they'll be able to pick it up. It's a beauty. Now you see his knuckle is up on the ball, his index finger. It's not a knuckle curve, it's just a spike curve. That's what they call that.
So there's the backdrop for the hitters. Throw it again. That's a swing. Salvi tags him out. And it's a 3-pitch strikeout for Carnes against Adam Jones.
Especially against an aggressive offense, that curveball, it's good when you got guys in a swing mode, because it looks like a fastball coming out. Tough to see the knuckle up there, but what that knuckle, when he bends it and puts that index finger up there, he's getting a better grip with his middle finger and his thumb. It allows him to get a better grip, better torque down.
Two down to Manny Machado. Held to an infield single in 4 at-bats last night. And he jumps on a first pitch fastball, and he's on with 2 outs. The Orioles pink tonight is taking that color to another level. You could see the Orioles shoes and their sleeves from space,
which is okay by me. They could wear the whole entire uniform, hats, and dress all the fans in the stands pink, because moms are the absolute greatest thing that ever happened to us. Glad to see it.
Chris Davis with a runner at first, 2 down. Davis did not play last night with Danny Duffy on the mound for the Royals. He was on deck when the game ended. Had Seth Smith reached, Davis would appear as a pinch hitter. Didn't pick it up. 1 ball, 1 strike.
Davis 3 out of 10. 2 of those hits of the 3 were homers off of Carnes. Now, you might be thinking to yourself, why all the pink on a Saturday when Mother's Day is tomorrow? Why not celebrate more days than one?
Two balls, 1 strike. Davis, a big strikeout candidate and a big home run candidate. Always among the league leaders in those 2 categories. 2-2.
He has one of the prettiest left-handed swings I've seen in a long time, and it looks effortless. When he gets a hold of one, it looks like he's just barely swinging, and the ball just flies. Great low ball hitter. Knees and below, be careful. Try to pitch him up.
Fastball at 95. He has struck out 47 times, Chris Davis, second most in the league to Joey Gallo of the Rangers. But he has the most home runs in the major league since 2012. He has 201.
He just earned him a yacker after swinging at that heater there, belt high.
Three and two.
Got it, but didn't put it where he wanted it. When Nate's going good, he'll use that 95 fastball just to, a little bit below the belt, and then the curveball comes out in the same angle, so the hitter has a hard time picking up the rotation, and he'll swing at it. He'll overcommit.
Yeah, in his last 2 starts, he has gotten not just gotten strikeouts with his curveball, but gotten strikeouts on his curveball that many are bad pitches in the dirt. Pitches that hardly even reach home plate. That's how tough that pitch can be to pick up.
That was a nice swing on it there, just to fight it off. Everything looks easy and smooth with this guy. He figures it out. As big and as strong as he is, Davis doesn't have to muscle up. He's got a great idea.
Machado runs again, and Davis fouls it away again.
Carnes has not buried a curveball, and he hasn't thrown him a fastball letter high. Either one of those would work right here. See if you can get him to swing at it, especially that one up. It looks good, power hitter, but he's a better low ball hitter. He still will swing at it. You can get a swing out of him.
Machado runs, and Davis takes a called 3rd strike. 2 strikeouts, both with his curveball.
He locked him up. Due up, Esky, Moose, and Kane. Davis, you got to go.
First inning. Alcides Escobar leads off again for the Royals. The Royals have won 4 of 5 with Escobar in that leadoff spot. The Royals were actually out hit by the Orioles last night, but they won 3-2 with some clutch hitting and extra base hits. Of their 7 hits, 4 were for extra bases. And now Chris Tillman, who had a big year for the Orioles last year, he was 16-6. But he started this year on the disabled list with a right shoulder issue, and that's his only start. Sunday, he pitched well against the White Sox.
And now this guy's he's a veteran. I say a crafty righty is what he is now. He's not overpowering like he used to be. He's going to throw more 88 to 90. But this is what he did against the White Sox in his only start this year. 3 hits. He's good. He's going to be somebody who will be a test. 88 to 90, maybe 91. He used to throw a lot harder. Now he's down to pitching. Last season, this is the percentages and what they hit off him. Pretty much an even cutter, curve, and the slider. Excuse me, changeup. Yeah, cutter, changeup, curveball, all about the same. Fastball, most pitchers work off the fastball.
Esky was 0 for 4 last night, and he's 1 for 1 tonight. Had a slider that stayed out over the plate. Royals have the leadoff man on.
Okay, he's reaching out. If you leave it up, it's trouble. There it is. A little slider, cutter. It looked like his little cutter. Just left it up. Esky reached out and got him. That's all he wants to do. Good to see him shorten his swing early in the count, not trying to go deep. Orioles defense, they're good. Machado, wow, 2-time Gold Glove winner, 13 and 15. But really, this kid has tremendous skills. Range, arm, the whole thing coming in, very talented.
Mike Moustakas scored a run in the first inning last night. The Royals had a couple of doubles in the first against Dylan Bundy. Moustakas was first, and then Kane followed with a double to get him home. Way outside, 2 balls and no strikes. Leading the Royals with 8 home runs. He's driven in 14.
Like to see Escobar try to steal a base or at least rip one off. Now that's going to help if he's going to continue to lead off. Then you start stealing some bases. Moose is going to get more fastballs to hit because they want to get that ball home quicker to help the catcher. Now Pena, he doesn't need a lot of help. He's 5 for 9 in his career throwing runners out. Takes after his daddy. His daddy missed him.
Davis over to the Royals dugout and down the stairs and in the dugout. He did not make the catch. And that ball just kept working its way to the right. And I think about 3 different times Davis thought he had a play, but he just kept drifting to the dugout, and there was no railing to reach over.
Easy to twist an ankle. There's 4 flights of steps right there. Looks a good thing he looked down to see where he was landing. Both feet. I give him a 10 on the landing.
Two balls, 1 strike. Taking a shot at left field.
Liked it. Good swing. Right idea.
Talking about Escobar stealing a base here to get some fastballs for Moustakas or get in scoring position. He hasn't even attempted a stolen base yet this year. And this is a tough time of night because he's got the sun right in his eyes as he's trying to read the pitcher's move. Off the end of the bat. Out at second, and a double play. That is a 6-5-3 double play with the overshift.
You move the runner, you stay out of the double play.
Tonight's Sporting KC match with the Orlando City SC is airing on Fox Sports Kansas City Plus and streaming on Fox Sports Go. For channel information, check foxsportskansascity.com. And we hear that Sporting KC is up early, 1-0. And the equivalent in baseball would be what? Someone up 4-0 right now? Strike to Lorenzo Cain. Lorenzo drove in a run and scored a run last night. Drove in the Royals' first run, and then he scored the go-ahead run in the 8th on the Eric Hosmer double. No balls, 2 strikes. Also stole a base. So Lorenzo Cain leads the American League with 10 stolen bases, and he's warming back up in May. One and 2. Curious to see what happens when the Royals get a runner at third base tonight, and if Tillman's still on the mound with what happened to Matt Andriese in St. Petersburg, a pitcher that is very subtle in his differences between the stretch and the windup. And if Tillman declares to the umpires whether he's pitching out of the stretch or the windup.
Yeah, wait and see. I don't believe that there had been a balk call on that particular play all year long. That might be the first in the history of baseball to be called like that. And it just so happened the Royals got a run on it.
Tillman gets his first strikeout, so he gives up a leadoff single, but then gets a double play and a strikeout to base only 3.
He was great his last outing. He's a strikeout master with that breaker there. And there's 1 strikeout already and 2. Caught him looking right down the middle, and he got to go.
Toyota League leaders, and a look at who has the most strikeouts with a curveball this year. Nate Carnes is second to Lance McCullers, who has an excellent curveball. We should point out McCullers has made 2 more starts than Nate Carnes has. So that's one reason why he has 18 more to this point. But Carnes had 10 strikeouts, 7 with his curveball on Monday at the Rays. And he's ahead of Mark Trumbo, 0-1. Trumbo, a walk and a single last night, 1 for 3, and he's hit in 8 straight games.
And that 93 to 95-mile-an-hour fastball sets that curve up. But he's got to make sure he locates the fastball away from the middle. That was good. It was in. Make him pull it. Miss in the middle, they'll hit you and hit you hard.
Trumbo had a big year altogether last year and punished the Royals, driving in 10 runs in the 6 games the two teams played. Salvi giving him a big target, high target. And Trumbo, as we talked about last night, he is a very good high ball hitter. So you say, well, why would you want to pitch him up? Well, you pitch him higher than up. Get him thinking I can hit that pitch, but it's a little bit too high for him to do anything with it, and then changes his eye level back down and away. And Carnes has 3 strikeouts.
Yeah. Tell you what, it's so great sitting up here not trying to make a living down there. That's difficult. That ball looks good. It looks like you can hit it, and then at the last minute the bottom falls out. And it's important that hitters that face Carnes don't get your dauber down. Hang with him. That's a tough pitch to hit. You ain't gonna hit it unless it's a mistake up.
Jonathan Schoop with 1 out. He was 1 for 4 last night. He has now reached base in 26 consecutive games, which is the longest active streak in the major leagues. Batting at .304 overall. 2-0. Three balls, no strikes. Trey Mancini is on deck. Three balls, 1 strike. Schoop has good numbers in the past against Carnes. And so Carnes throws him a pitch out of the strike zone on 3-1, and Schoop feeling good, took a rip at it.
4-seamer, you see it? Looks like it's got a little rising action to it, and there's a little bit of hair on that coming in. That's a term a hitter will use when he goes back to the dugout. That fastball is good, but it's got a little hair on it. That means it's got some ride, just like it did there.
Coming back from 3-0. Carnes strikes out Schoop for the 2nd out.
So far, you know, those hitters, they do talk when they go back to the dugout. They're saying, wow, this guy, looks like he's pretty nasty, and it'd be tough to figure out. Get the fastball. And so you might see him start swinging early, thinking a fastball's coming.
So he struck out 2 in the 1st inning, 2 here in the 2nd. And now Trey Mancini, who swung the bat well last night. Breaking ball for strike 1. He was 1 for 4, but he flied to the warning track in center field and also lined out to 3rd, which resulted in a diving play by Moustakas in the 9th inning.
Young man that they call Boom Boom in Baltimore is going to have a nice career. 6'4", 213. Perfect hitter's body, tall and lean, lanky. Compact swing, but stays inside the ball, hits for average, uses the whole field, and has got plenty of pop.
Eighth-round pick of the Orioles out of Notre Dame. Strike 3 called. 5 strikeouts for Nate Carnes, and he strikes out the side in the 2nd inning.
Oh, how nice. Jumbo Trumbo, you got to go. Scope, you're gone. Mancini, take a seat. You're out.
No score to the bottom of the second inning. Nate Carnes has struck out 5 in his first 2 innings, including 4 in a row. Royals sent just 3 to the plate in the bottom of the first against Chris Tillman, and now it's Hosmer, Perez, and Bonifacio. Big curveballs in for strike 1. Hosmer had 2 hits, a single in the 6th, and the go-ahead double with 1 out in the 8th. No balls and 2 strikes. Our Kubota Power Stats takes a look at where Eric Hosmer ranks in the major leagues in May. 2nd best batting average, 2nd most hits, 3rd best on base percentage, and the 3rd best slugging percentage. 1 and 2.
And it's May 13th. It's not the first 3 days in May. He's been very consistent, but they're throwing him a lot of off speed, and when they do throw a fastball, they try to come inside.
Out over the plate, and that's lined to deep left field, over Mancini and up against the fence. Hosmer slides into second base with a leadoff double.
This ball's laced. He tried to get it in. He put it right in Hosmer's wheelhouse. He loves that pitch right there, and he ain't gonna miss it when he's flaming hot like he is. That ball off the wall, Alex Gordon wouldn't have caught that. Nice job though by Mancini. Get that ball in there anyway. Hos, good little slide staying on the base. Leadoff double can work. Let's see if Salvi can work him over and in. He doesn't have to necessarily hit the ball to the right side. You're not going to ask Perez to do that. He's got tremendous power.
Ball 1 to Salvi. 1 for 4 last night. Also had 2 hard hit outs. He has an 8-game hitting streak. Down and out of the strike zone. 1 ball, 1 strike.
Not that he needs him, as you see our beautiful American flag right there, but there is some nice wind blowing from the right field foul pole out to the left, and that way Salvi doesn't need a win, but Wouldn't be bad, a high sky pop-up. It could go.
Pena keeps it in front of him. 2 balls and 1 strike. So an 8-game hitting streak. He's driven in 5 over those 8 games. And he's done well against this pitcher, Chris Tillman. Three and 1. Bonifacio is on deck.
Very nice. You know, just let the next guy do it if he doesn't want to pitch to you. And I don't blame Tillman for trying to pitch it around him here. You got a rookie on deck.
Tillman already has a ground ball double play tonight. Three and 2. He has yet to challenge Salvi. So I'm hoping that Salvi will chase something, but it also seems okay if Salvi takes a walk.
Yeah, so this one may be a little further down to get him to swing at it, but the reason he's missing down is because he's smart. Anything up, Salvi could take him deep. He's being very careful here.
Base hit left field. Hosmer rounds third. He will score. And the Royals lead 1-0 in the 2nd inning.
I mean, by the looks of that at bat, it looked like Tillman wanted no part of it. And then he tried to get cute. He left one up. Look at the only pitch out of the whole at bat he left up. Salvi reached it. And he had a little fortune there. He just got it by the diving Machado. But look, when you face a guy like Salvi who's hot right now, I'm a little bit surprised he didn't want to go ahead and pitch to Bonifacio. But he'll take it. He'll take the ribby. That'll be his 21st on the season, which leads the team.
Bonifacio hacking at the first pitch. He came on late last night, a pinch hitter for Alex Gordon in the 7th inning, and then finished the game in left field. Alex came out of the game with tightness in his right groin, and Ned Yost told us before the game today that Alex could play, but they're going to be careful with that. Tight enough to give him another day or so. 0-2.
Bonifacio, he likes to use the whole field. He's holding his own. First time around the block. Hit 255. Couple of homers. You leave a mistake up, he'll hit you. And he'll take you deep.
Three-pitch strikeout, and that's Tillman's 2nd. Tonight's game is on AFN, the American Forces Network, now in its 75th year of broadcasting to American military personnel overseas and in more than 170 countries and naval ships at sea. We welcome you to Kauffman Stadium and thank you for your service. Jorge Soler with Perez at first base, 1 out. 0-1. Talking about it last night. That's a great spot. That dugout suite right behind first base. 1 ball, 1 strike.
Bonifacio, Soler, only 2 Royals hitters that have never faced Tillman before. Kind of want to put him in a certain area. He's not going to try to overpower you. He's going to finesse you. 4-pitch mix.
1-2. He was 0 for 3 last night with an intentional walk and made a couple of aggressive mistakes in right field. One the Royals were okay with. The second one required a little sit down before tonight's game. 2 balls and 2 strikes, and that was in the top of the 9th inning last night with 2 outs. Caleb Joseph hit a fly ball into shallow right, which looked like was going to be a single because the outfield was back, preventing against the extra base hit. Soler tried to end the game with a diving play, and he missed. And Joseph went to third. But Herrera got Seth Smith to fly out to left and end the game. Base hit left field. He muscled it out there on a pitch that was up and in. 2 on and 1 out.
Okay, there's a mistake. See where he is? He's down against the big strong guy. The guys that now he comes in and he muscles it out there just like you called, Rhino. But let's go back to those plays you were talking about last night. He's young. He's 24 years old. Hadn't played a whole lot of outfield. He made a great diving catch in Tampa. Okay, nice. Now he believes that he can catch those. So the first one, that's on me. Second, when the situation calls for it, you got a 1-run lead. It's in the 9th inning. It's late. You want to play it safe. And take a couple hard steps in. But if you think you can't, pull out just to be sure and keep the runner off of second base in a no double situation.
Moss hits a slow roller. Davis to Tillman for the second out. Perez to third. Soler to second.
Perfect time for Witt to get a hit. Not trying to do too much. It's a good number 9 hitter. He's like a second leadoff hitter for you. Doesn't, you know, just try to find a hole out there, and if you do hit it in the right place, you can score both of them.
Oh for 2 last night, and then was drilled in the 7th inning in the ribs by Michael Givens. Slow curveball at 71 miles an hour.
Started out about shoulder height, almost neck height. It's a good pitch to hit. Witt's a smart hitter, smart player. He'll make a mental note of that. But on the first pitch, he's not going to get himself out on that.
Over his helmet.
And you know it was good that he brought the bat down. Sometimes it'll foul off the bat when it's that high. Watch this, he's heading right for his bat. He dropped it down just in time. Make the count even, 1-1.
Taking a shot at right field. 1 ball, 2 strikes. First 3 pitches to Witt, 71 miles an hour, 74 miles an hour, 82 miles an hour. So does he go even slower this time, or does he reach back for 91 miles an hour?
I think he's going to try to loop his curve in there and get him to swing out of the on a ball down. Let's see.
Outside with a fastball.
So 2-strike approach, it makes it a little bit simpler for Witt. He's a compact swing. He's got a short swing, but go up there and just put it in play and find a hole. Big hole up the middle, by the way. Hardy, the shortstop, playing him to pull.
Off of Pena's mask.
That swing looked like he was trying to shoot it to right. Good pitch to hit, too, right there. 1 for 4 in his career against Tillman.
Hosmer doubled to open the inning. Perez singled him home with 1 out. Soler singled, and now second and third with 2 down. Full count. Escobar's on deck. Next pitch will be his 40th and his 26th in this inning. Another foul ball. Wood was down in the count, 1-2. Now 3 balls, 2 strikes.
If you see that these middle infielders here, look at the lanes in between. Anywhere in there. It'd be a slow roller even. Any kind of miss hit. And a hitter could see that. All he's got to do is get it by the pitcher. He's going to knock in 1, maybe 2.
Davis in foul ground, backpedaling, and that'll do it. So the Royals strand 2 in scoring position, but they take the lead. Eric Hosmer gets the Royals going in the second inning with a double, and Salvi gets him home. The big story, a big long game. That is Buster Posey with a home run in the 17th inning last night to beat the Cincinnati Reds. Final score was 3-2. That's the second game this past week that's gone at least 17 innings. Last Sunday, the Yankees beat the Cubs at Wrigley Field in 18 innings. J.J. Hardy, Orioles shortstop, number 8 hitter, 1 for 4 with a triple and a run scored last night. One and one.
You know, the Royals would have liked to have gotten more that last half, but the one positive thing is they worked Tillman's pitch count. That was good.
That's a swing, 1-2. Carnes has retired 6 of 7 with 5 strikeouts already. Six strikeouts, all with his curveball. One down in the third inning. Let's go to Joel.
All right, Ryan, time for our University of Kansas Health System injury update. And Ian Kennedy, who went on the DL about 10 days ago with that hamstring injury. Positive news, he threw a side session of bullpen yesterday. Now, and it was not a setback. There was a little bit of tension in that hamstring, Nick Kenny tells me, but no pain. He said that's part of the process. It's the body getting used to being functional. That one's coming right over here. And Hazel looking into the stands. But what Nick did tell me was that not overly concerned because there was not pain involved. It's not 100% positive, but it's a step in the right direction. It is not a setback in any way. They're going to continue to try to increase what he is doing and the intensity. And it was interesting because remember, you know, guys, that Ian has had a hamstring injury before, but it was in a different leg. And Ian was concerned, Nick was telling me, about that tension yesterday, and he wanted to let Ian know that this is kind of like apples and oranges, maybe the same fruit, but apples and oranges in the sense that it's a different leg, and for a pitcher, each one of those legs has a different functionality. So his experience in the past will be different than this one because one leg is more important for getting that length, the other one more for that strength and that balance. So all things are positive right now and encouraging for him, but just dealing with some different things.
All right, thanks, Joel. And Kennedy's spot in the rotation is coming around again tomorrow, and Chris Young will fill Kennedy's spot for a second straight start in the final game of the series with the Orioles. One and two on Francisco Pena. Seems like just yesterday he was running around here at Kauffman Stadium as a middle schooler, high schooler, with his dad managing the Royals. He was a switch hitter when he was a kid and signed with the Mets 11 years ago. How is that possible? 2006, but he got his first big league hit with the Royals in October of 2015. And that is belted to deep left field. Francisco Pena. It's his second major league home run. And the Orioles tie the game at 1 in the third inning.
There was the hanger, and he didn't miss it. Also threw out a base runner in his first time in his first game too. I'll never forget that. But look at this. See, starts out just above the shoulders, and then there it was. It hung up there. And when that overhand spin like that, you make contact and you catch the back underside, it really takes off. You don't have to have a big swing to hit it out of the park.
Seth Smith, Orioles leadoff man, takes outside. He flied out to center field in the first inning.
He's starting the second time through. He's only thrown 2 changeups. Okay. Now he's facing these guys again. They've had one chance to see the big curveball and his fastball. Like to see him bring the changeup in a little bit here on certain guys, certain counts. Just to kind of let him see something different.
Two and one.
So far this season, they've gotten him early, and he's kind of settled in the second time and third time. You know, good. Those are good numbers. Hopefully that works second time through here.
2 balls, 2 strikes.
Nate and Dave Island worked hard and long on the changeup all spring, and it was a fantastic pitch. And Dave's thought was, we need to get him confident in using that pitch so he can use it.
Well, you can't argue with the results. On Monday at Tampa Bay, he struck out 10 in 6 1/3 innings. But he threw 4 changeups in the entire game.
Yeah, you know what? If it's working, don't mess with it. But this powerful team, Tampa Bay, is not as powerful as the Orioles are.
That's his first walk. So a runner at first, 1 out. Adam Jones coming up. And we remind you, as you enjoy a cold one, to look forward to Miller Time later in tonight's game, brought to you by Miller Lite. Happens very often. Pitcher gives up a home run and then walks the next hitter. A little gun shy. A little over careful in how he uses the strike zone. And a curveball for a strike to Jones. Jones only saw 3 pitches in the first inning, and he struck out.
Adam Jones has grounded into 3 double plays this year so far. Carnes has induced just 2 in his 35 1/3 coming into this game.
Into the seats behind the Royals dugout. Jones is concerned, Salvi's concerned, and somebody may have been hit with that foul ball just beyond the netting. And nobody sees it better than the hitter. As soon as you foul that ball, I mean, you have your eyes on the ball the entire flight, so he was well aware of what happened. And sometimes you'll see a hitter foul one into the seats and they'll just look away. They know that if somebody gets hit, they're going to have a tough time pulling it together emotionally to get through the rest of the at bat. So Jones, after every pitch, is peeking down there to see some sign that whoever was hit is all right. And he takes a fastball for a strike. 7 strikeouts for Carnes in 2 2/3 innings.
Wow, he's got him guessing up there, that's for sure. Locked him up. Adam, you got to go. Good pitch. I mean, he locked him up. You got that curveball in the back of their mind now with 7 strikeouts early in this game for taking a call third like that. Fastball.
Outside to Machado, he singled to center field in the first inning. And now I hear that round of applause. Machado is looking right at it. Round of applause in that area. So, all right, so it looks like Fan was maybe hit on the arm. So she stands up and looks okay, and that's a sigh of relief for everybody here tonight. The worst thing to see at a ballpark when a ball goes into the crowd are fans standing up and waving for first aid personnel to rush to the area, because you just never know. It looks like she's going to be all right. Inside, 2 balls, 1 strike. Out into right field. Soler doesn't have to deal with the glare anymore. So it was a long inning for Carnes. He gives up the 1 run on Francisco Peña's home run to tie the game. To tonight's game. Great story. This is a 4th grade teacher, Montel Evans of Williams Southern Elementary. He started the Southern Gentleman Program for the 4th and 5th grade boys of his school. The program meets once a week where he teaches the boys about community service, paying it forward, and how to be a well-mannered and well-versed gentleman. In addition to mentoring those in his Southern Gentleman Program, Montel also works as a coach and mentor to student athletes striving for success in track and field. And Montel, when school's out and if you're looking for some work in the summer, I got 3 boys in my house I need you to work with.
Wow. Way to go, Montel. That's outstanding.
And I'm probably not alone amongst fathers in Kansas City. What a great program. Good for him.
No question, man. That is super to take a role like that. That's a father role, basically. Oh, that's what you love. Kids get a chance to have a teacher like him. Good swing.
And running away from Jones, but Jones running and leaping. That ball had a little bit of hook to it, so it was working away from Jones, but he outran it.
That was a heck of a play. If you don't take the right angle on that ball, it gets by you. But you know, this is the highest league in the world, and Jones, he's a big-time 10-year veteran. He knows exactly how to get to that ball, and they do that in their sleep. 31 years old, already has 10 years in. Pretty impressive. I asked him before the game, how much longer you want to play? Maybe about 40. Like to play till I'm 40. What he said, I go, really? Man, if he plays till he's 40, he could have Hall of Fame numbers.
Well, that's a nice transition from Montel in the Buck O'Neil legacy seat to Adam Jones. I mean, Adam Jones doesn't have a particular program like Montel does, but he's mentoring just about every player that comes in his presence. One of the most well-rounded, quality human beings in the major leagues. And there was that unfortunate incident in Boston where he was taunted by some racially sensitive slurs. He called attention to it, handled it with grace and honesty, and when he came to the plate the next day at Fenway Park, got a standing ovation. Just foul by a foot. 2 balls and 2 strikes on Mike Moustakas. And Joel, he's also had an impact here in Kansas City.
Yeah, he has, and a visitor to the Negro Leagues Baseball Museum today. Not the first time. He's been there many times. Bob Kendrick, president of the museum, had told me last week when we were here that Adam would be making a big donation. It was not because of that racial incident. This was already planned, and that was going to be announced today. $20,000 donation of his own money to the Negro Leagues Baseball Museum. It'll be used for technology and a big project, an exhibit that they are working on. This is a guy that cares so much, and it's not so much that it's a donation to our community. Of course, we're fortunate enough to have the museum here, but it is a donation and a belief in the importance of that museum. And guys, just to go back to what you were saying about what happened in Boston, I like what Bob Kendrick told us last week, and what Buck O'Neill would have said too, in the sense that they picked on the wrong guy, or maybe in a sense they picked on the right guy, because he's not afraid to bring attention to this and to get something done. And we know that Buck O'Neill was always looking for the positives in every situation. As Tony Clark, executive director of the Players Association, said today, we still have more work to do, but this is a guy that should be right at the top.
Well said.
And you know, the next day I watched, he was on with Tom Verducci on MLB Network, and he talked about it for 30 minutes.
Yeah, he should.
I mean, right up front. Exactly.
Should.
Right up front, and was honest and was just impressive.
Into the gap. That'll roll deep. It'll roll all the way to the wall. And with 2 outs, Kane will stop at second base with a double.
Kane, 8th. The Kane train. That was nice. Up in the zone, 89. Good rip. Split the gap. Mancini again played it nicely off the wall. If he had any issues out there, he would have had 3 on it. Watch him. I thought I thought he was a little bit aggressive going into that ball too close to the wall, but it popped right back to him and held Kane to a double.
So a chance for Hosmer to drive in a run. Hosmer doubled and scored the Royals run in the second inning, coming home on a Salvador Perez single. Ball 1 down and away.
Nice block there by Francisco.
Little bit of sunlight affecting the fans in the seats above the right field bullpen, and also a line drive deep to right is going to be a challenge for the right fielder. 2-0.
Well, that last base hit that Haas got, that double he hit, was up and away, and that's right where he likes it. So this time around, Tillman's doing all he can to keep the ball down. He doesn't quite have the velocity to get it by him up there. So we're being careful.
Two balls and 1 strike. Hosmer put the Royals ahead in the 8th inning last night. There are many words to describe him. One word would be clutch. And to prove that, last night was his 65th go-ahead RBI since 2015. That is the 2nd most in the American League. And he can add to that right here. 3-1.
You can tell he's locked in by the pitches he's taken. Early in the season, he was a little bit aggressive because he was trying so hard to get something done. Now it's all coming to him. He's letting the ball get to him. That's a great sign. Doesn't have to swing here with Salvia on deck at 2 outs. Let him pick up the slack. It's not your pitch.
So he'll take the walk. With 2 outs and nobody on, the Royals get a double and a walk. That's Tillman's first walk tonight.
And Hosmer's 12th walk on the season.
The 2017 MLB All-Star Game ballot is here. Head to Royals.com/vote. The All-Star game is on July 11th in Miami. You can vote today, vote tomorrow, vote at Royals.com. Salvi singled to left and scored Hosmer in the second inning. He has 2 on with 2 out. And that's inside for ball 1. And how badly does Tillman want to pitch here to Perez?
Didn't seem like he was wanting to last time up, but he left him a mistake up there. Salvi been driving the bus with runners in scoring position. 4 out of his last 7 have been hits.
And that's going to be caught by the shortstop Hardy. So the Royals strand 2. And at the end of 3. Nate Carnes has struck out 7 already tonight. We have a 1-1 tie. The Royals have teamed up with the Greater Kansas City Attractions Association to bring you Tourism Night. Wednesday, when the Royals take on the Yankees, fans will have the opportunity to visit over 30 unique and engaging booths featuring different local attractions. And the first 10,000 fans through the gates will also receive a KC Attractions coupon sheet with offers from sites all over town. Escobar picks it and throws out Chris Davis. So again, that is coming up on Wednesday with the Yankees.
Did you see that? Escobar, that ball was hit hard. Now I don't know what the hit speed was, but it was mighty hard. He picked it, had top spin on it, picked it as clean as you can. You like those, especially when you're on that side of second base. It's a little easier to throw, and he had time.
Ball 1 to Trumbo. He is one of Carnes' 7 strikeout victims tonight. 7 strikeouts, 5 with the curveball, and there's a good hard breaking ball down and away. Trumbo went down on a breaking ball in the second.
108 hit speed to Escobar there. He picked it cleanly.
Got him thinking curveball, and you can just tell by Trumbo's reaction. He realized that Carnes got in his head, thinking off speed, and he just let a hittable fastball go by.
See him kick that leg out there like a bull would. I don't want to charge.
Stayed inside. 2 balls, 2 strikes.
Not a bad spot to pitch him, tie him up. let him get his arms extended out there, he can hit a long way.
He did, and it wasn't even close. It's amazing. The last 3 starts for Carnes, the number of strikeouts he has gotten on pitches like that one.
Yeah.
Not even close.
6 of the 8 strikeouts have been on that curveball. Beautiful. And it's because of the fastball. They're hunting fastball and they're ready to hit it. And when you have 93 to 95, it doesn't give you much time to react. And so they're overcommitting. They're going to make some adjustments on it.
You know, we hear a lot about pitching coaches talking about a pitcher repeating his delivery, and Dave Island will tell you that's why he's getting so many bad swings, is that, as Dave put it, there is no hump to his curveball. Meaning as soon as it comes out of his hand, sometimes the ball will go up just a little bit and the hitter can pick up the arc on the curveball. But with Carnes, his curveball comes out straight like the fastball and then just disappears.
And then there's the heater, and when he gets them looking for one and then they're looking for another, it's not going to happen. Let's check him out. Small step, gets a good firm, good separation, stays up on top, down through it, and never leaves the dirt. Gets right back up on the slab. Watch it. Good tempo. That's important. You keep keeping a good tempo, maybe 10-15 seconds in between pitches. Depending on how you're counting the seconds.
Carnes has struck out 9 in 4 innings. He struck out 10 in 6 1/3 on Monday.
Whew, it's early, but Nate, you look great. Let's go back out to Cleveland, and the first place Minnesota Twins continue their onslaught of beating the Cleveland Indians. Now they beat them 4-1. That's Kepler's 3rd home run. Wow, Twins staying in first place. Pretty impressive what they've been doing early this season.
And that's the first team the Royals will face on their next road trip. And they'll also see the Indians, Minnesota, New York, and Cleveland on the next trip, which begins on Friday.
Good time to pick up some ground.
Royals still looking for their first win against Minnesota this year. 0-5. Big curveball is inside to Jorge Bonifacio. He struck out on a curveball in the 2nd inning. Just foul by inches. Royals run came in the second inning. Salvador Perez singled in Eric Hosmer. The Orioles run came in the third on a home run from Francisco Pena. Changeup is low. 2 balls and 1 strike. No swing. James Hoy is the umpire at first. Tillman has walked 1. That was Hosmer last inning, and for good reason. There was an open base and Tillman was pitching him very carefully. And now Bonifacio lines it to right field, but Smith is right there. Time for tonight's Sprint Trivia question. Who are the 5 pitchers with the most wins in the American League since 2013?
Justin Verlander.
No. Rick Porcello. There's one.
Ding, ding, ding.
One and one on Soler. He singled to left field in the second inning.
Dallas Keuchel. Corey Kluber. Ding, ding, ding.
Keuchel, no. Kluber, yes. Well, they keep showing us Chris Tillman. He had 16 wins last year. 11 the year before. 13 the year before that. 16 the year before that. Chris Tillman.
Come on. Ding, ding, ding. That a way to figure it out. How many more we got?
2. Three and 2 on Soler.
Chris Sale.
No. Good guess.
David Price.
David Price it is.
Ding, ding, ding.
Off the end of the bat. Jones' first move was back, and now he won't come up with it. Big, strong man like Soler at the plate with a good swing, and Jones naturally thought that ball was going to carry to center field, but he hit it off the end of the bat.
Couldn't describe that any better. Watch him up the top of your screen. Watch him. 1, 2, shuffle. Too late. Oh, good try, though. That happens. Look, that's not Jones's fault. You get a big guy like Soler, 6'4", 240. Swing a bat like that, and they all know how far he can hit one, even though he hasn't hit it yet. He'll take it. 1 out double. Soler is second on the year.
Here's Brandon Moss. Felix Hernandez.
Ding, 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 ding.
That's 5. Ball game.
Nice.
Thanks for playing. Drive home safely. Moss grounded to first in the second inning.
Way to pick up Tillman.
Well, they were just giving it away. I mean, no matter what we said. I mean, there's more than one guy on the field right now, but they just kept putting Tillman on the screen. I'll say this, if we weren't playing the Orioles tonight, I don't know if you and I would have gotten that if we had.
We wouldn't have.
All week. We did get a 5-yard penalty for taunting after getting all 5. 1 and 2 on Moss.
It usually takes us a few innings. I mean, but we're hot tonight. They're keeping the ball up, and then way in on him, on Moss. Anything about knee high down all over the plate, it's the ones he puts in the drink.
2-2. What a great attitude he has. I mean, who knows what's going on inside, but on the outside, shows up every day with a smile on his face, having fun. His interview with Joel was classic last night after the game. Poking some fun at himself, more so than praising his long home run. 3 balls and 2 strikes. And that's where he hit it, into the second tier of the fountains last night.
450, what? 7? 450 something. That's bomb. Take another one of those right here for Carnes. Nate needs a little bit of runs.
Got him with a changeup away. 4 strikeouts for Tillman. Tillman, by the way, while we're talking about all of his wins, he is not an Oriole born and raised player. He's from the Mariners organization. And you know, the Orioles got Chris Tillman and the guy right behind him in center field, Adam Jones, in the same trade from the Seattle Mariners, along with the reliever George Sherrill, who had some good years for the O's, for Eric Bedard, who did almost nothing for the Mariners. And that was a trade that helped turn the organization around. Chris Tillman, 2nd round pick 11 years ago. Fouled away by Merrifield. Adam Jones was a 1st round pick of the Mariners in 03. Mariners were looking for a starter that would help put them over the top. Bedard was mostly injured with the Mariners, and the Orioles got some young guys that very few people knew much about, and now headline guys for one of the best teams in the American League.
10-year veteran is Jones, center.
1-2 on Witt. He had a long battle with Tillman in the 2nd inning with runners at 2nd and 3rd and 2 down, and eventually fouled out to Davis at first base.
Yeah, I thought there was a couple of pitches that during that at bat that he could have tried to pull. It seemed like to me he's trying to go to right field. He's got a lot of pop and a lot of pull power, but he has been good at going to right field. 2 out of his 3 homers have gone to right. He's got, you know, good power that way. But he hit that bomb, you know, out there in Tampa, and he pulled it about 430 feet. Don't need one of those, just a lousy single.
Line foul, just to cap the story about the trade between the Orioles and the Mariners. Eric Bedard, the headline player going from Baltimore to Seattle, pitched 3 years with the Mariners, never won more than 6 games in any of those 3 years, never pitched more than 91 innings in any of those 3 years. Two balls, 2 strikes, 2 outs. Soler is at 2nd. Good take. That's right where Francisco Pena wanted it. Merrifield wouldn't swing at it, but Pena pointed his glove out to Tillman, saying, "We didn't get the call, but that's where I wanted it." Good spot. Late on a fastball at 91, which Witt normally isn't, but you have to remember who's on the mound right now. Chris Tillman has thrown pitches as slow as 71 miles an hour tonight.
And I got a feeling that Woodley, he normally can turn on a 95-mile-an-hour heater with no problem. looking for something soft.
He saw 8 pitches in his first at bat, and this will be the 8th pitch of this at bat. Another foul ball.
Staying alive, waiting for a mistake, and we've seen a few by Tillman. And we've talked about it before. Just because the pitcher makes a mistake out over the middle, you know, the hitter's still got to hit it. He's got to put it in play hard somewhere and find a hole. But sometimes you'll pop one up, or you'll hit a little ground ball to the shortstop. I mean, you just never know. So it'll drive you crazy.
That'll be out of play. With 1 out, Soler hit a bloop double to center field. And now he's at second base with 2 outs. Royals have stranded 4 tonight. And 3 of the 4 in scoring position. Now runner in scoring position with 2 down in the 4th.
That pitch count is up there because the Royals have really been having some good plate appearances. Foul off some pitches.
Another foul ball.
Staying alive.
Nice.
There you go, Dad. Oh.
Excellent read.
Yeah,
because he had to climb up onto the concrete ledge and go to the right spot.
Something tells me he's been down there before.
Yeah.
That ball was well scouted out. Had enough time to react too. Merrifield just putting on a foul ball clinic here. Wants to hit one right up the middle now.
Fouled away again. Good point about the pitch count. No matter what happens here, I mean, it'll be disappointing, not devastating, but disappointing if the Royals don't get the run. But mission somewhat accomplished when you've got the starting pitcher on the edge of 90 pitches in 4 innings. And now Witt has seen 19 pitches in his first 2 at bats. And he pokes it to right field. Smith was shallow, so he backs up, and that ends the inning. So the Royals are inching closer to the middle of the Orioles bullpen. We played 4 and have a 1-1 tie. By the Chevy Silverado, the most dependable, longest lasting full-size pickup on the road. Find yours at your local Mid-America Chevy dealer. By Panera. Panera caters for every group, every size, every meal. And by Jeep. Test drive a Jeep brand vehicle at the Drive and Discover event going on now. 1-1 tie. Their low scoring game so far. Last night was a 3-2 Royals win. Nate Carnes has struck out 9. His career high is 10, which he accomplished for the second time on Monday. He also struck out 10 Yankees in 2015. One of those strikeout victims is at the plate, Trey Mancini. He went down on a changeup in the second inning. He's ahead in the count, 2 balls and no strikes. Carnes struck out 2 in the first, 3 in the second, 2 in the third, and 2 in the fourth. High strike, 2-1. Tim Timmons is the home plate umpire. He's one of my favorites. He lets you know when there's a strike.
Yeah, it's good. I like enthusiastic umpires as well.
2-2.
Loud calls.
Three balls, 2 strikes. So that pitch right there, again, you look at that pitch and you go, well, that wasn't close. That's not very tempting for the hitter. But the way Carnes has been going with his breaking ball, he's got a lot of hitters to swing at that pitch. But Mancini, not a good read.
He's gotten a few guys looking with the fastball.
And there's a fastball got him looking.
Yeah, I mean, you know, that's that. You throw that many curveballs, they're looking for the mistake. And this is 2 pitches ago. Okay, now that's one. He's setting it up. Now Mancini's saying, all right, he's going to try to get this one up. And he didn't. And boom, boom, you got to go.
So he ties his career high, the 3rd time he has struck out 10, and becomes the 6th different Royal with back-to-back 10 strikeout outings. You know, I remember watching Darryl Kyle. I didn't see a lot of him because he was a National League pitcher. And the same with Tom Glavine, National League pitcher. Kyle had a great curveball. Glavine had a great changeup. So you would expect that most of their strikeouts would be on that pitch. But they got a lot of strikeouts on fastballs because they were so good at getting the hitter to think about the breaking ball or think about the changeup, and they got a lot of strikeouts like Carnes just got against Mancini. Surprised him with a fastball. 1 ball and 2 strikes on Hardy.
But you know, he's thrown so many of them, but that's backward thinking. Hitters have to look fastball, adjust to the curve. That's if you're going to have some success off of Carnes, and he's been able to sneak some cheese by him because they're thinking backwards. Yeah.
New career high. And he's done it in 4 2/3 innings. Nate Carnes strikes out 11 for the first time in his career.
Wow, man, he's got those birds swinging in a lot of air tonight. That's just the location where he's putting it. He only made 1 mistake with it, and Francisco Pena hit his 2nd career home run off of it. A catcher for the Birds. He caught one of them, but none of his teammates have been able to come close.
And he's hit another one. So he hit a hanging curveball in the 3rd inning, but he was ready for the fastball with 2 down in the 5th. And Francisco Pena has the first multi-home run game of his career.
What a nice, easy swing, just like the previous homer. I mean, it's almost like he knew it was coming.
Well, you just said it a couple batters ago, that even if a guy has a really good breaking ball, you can't forget about trying to hit the fastball.
No, you got to look for that pitch, and he hunted it out and got it. You're hot, you're hot.
He has taken more swings here at Kauffman Stadium than anywhere in his life when you're talking about big league ballparks. Francisco Pena, all those days with his dad when he was managing and his time with the Royals. You can imagine the memories that come rushing in when he's rounding the bases after hitting a home run here.
You know, he's got to feel so good.
1-1 on Seth Smith. Father, son, and second son, all members of the Royals at one point, never at the same time. First dad as manager, then son Tony Jr., Royals shortstop, and then Francisco Pena, who is a September call-up. Didn't really have a very long tour with the Royals, but a Royal nonetheless. Tonight alone, Francisco has as many home runs as his dad and his brother had at Kauffman Stadium.
Wow.
Tony had one. Tony Jr. had one.
And that's just the third hit that Carnes has given up.
Just inside, 2 balls, 2 strikes. Tony Jr. was not known for his power at all, but I remember one opening day, I think it was against the Red Sox. He hit 2 triples on opening day. So for a while he was on pace for 324 triples on the season, which would have been a record, I believe.
Sure.
Moustakas coming from the shortstop position, bare hands, and too late. Runner at first with 2 down. Day game tomorrow, off day Monday. Then the Yankees are here for a 3-game series beginning on Tuesday. That's our next T-shirt Tuesday. The first 10,000 fans through the gates receive this special Rays Royal T-shirt presented by Teva. To view all T-shirt Tuesday designs and to get tickets, go to Royals.com/T-shirt Tuesday. The inning began with back-to-back strikeouts to give Carnes a career high 11. Jones was going for it all. And then with 2 outs, Pena homered. Smith has reached with an infield single. Jones had a good April, but he has not done the same in May. He is hitting under 170 so far this month, and he's 0 for 2 with 2 strikeouts tonight. Hud, I have an assignment for you.
Okay.
See that shiny black necklace that Adam Jones has on?
Yes.
Okay. Get a good look out of there. Okay, Eric Hosmer has the same necklace.
Okay.
I want you to find out what that's all about. Is that a gold medal Team USA necklace?
I don't know, but I noticed it. I'll get to the bottom of it. That, or you know what, Joe might want
And
that.
I think,
but I'll be happy to.
didn't Chris Archer pitch for Team USA some? I want to say he had one on when we were in St. Petersburg.
Well, Jones,
that's one way to connect those 3.
Jones was telling me it's one of his greatest baseball experiences, the spring he had this year with them. I said, what was better, the catch you robbed or the homer you hit? He said the homer.
He robbed his own teammate.
Yep.
In a game against the Dominican Republic.
I thanked him. I said, you know what, congratulations, and then you entertained us all, man. I couldn't miss a game.
Well, many will say, here's Archer's. You can see he had the same one on.
Okay, all right.
That's my call. I think there's
got to be related.
there.
I noticed that he had it on yesterday, last night's game.
Many will say, and I'm one of them, that it was the first time that Team USA put some guys together who really wanted to win it. Not just wanted to go and play well and not get hurt, but really wanted to go out and win it, and they did.
Beat some good teams.
Still 1-2.
See now Adam Jones, third time around, he's struck out twice already. Now his third time around, you see he's getting closer and closer to the curveball. This is where the changeup would be effective. Now, I'm not going to say that Carnes should be using that more because look, he's having a career strikeout day. But you can see Jones getting closer and closer third time through. That's where you need that extra weapon. It looks like he's going to stay away from it, try to get him to swing at a high fastball here.
Good location, and it's fouled away. Jones got some big hits. Eric Hosmer got some big hits. Both were praised for their leadership. Both are winners. Royals and Orioles since 2013 are two of the top 3 teams in the league in wins. So those two have done a lot of winning. Hosmer a lot more in the postseason. 2 balls and 2 strikes. You know, the Orioles next year will be going through what the Royals are going through this year. Next year, Adam Jones' contract is up. Manny Machado's contract is up. Zach Britton's contract is up. They'll all be free agents at the end of 2018. Well, there's a sense of urgency with that group of guys. And he gets a base hit to right field. Got a fastball away. So with 2 outs, a home run and 2 singles for the Orioles.
Good swing. Didn't try to do too much. Looked like he wanted to do that all along.
So Dave Island, if nothing else, out there just to allow him to catch his breath after 24 pitches so far in this inning. Also through 24 in the 3rd inning. And they begin to stir around now in the Royals bullpen. So no call yet, but those guys have been around long enough to know that they're a pitch or 2 away from a phone call.
Better believe that. They're anticipating some action. 41 fastballs by Carnes, 41 curves, 6 changeups.
Machado looked like he was sitting on a first pitch curveball. We talked about this last night. To this point, the Orioles don't really have any numbers with the classic statistics that knock your eyes out, but hitting with runners in scoring position is one area where they lead the American League, our Academy Sports and Outdoors leaderboard. Only the Nationals and the Mets are better in the major leagues. Spun off the end of the bat. Baltimore led the major leagues last year by a wide margin in home runs. They are currently 6th. That will change as we get into the summer months, but they have good offensive numbers. Not great, but when the game's on the line and when runners are in scoring position, they've been coming through. They've been winning close games more than anyone else in the American League, except for last night when the Royals won by 1 run. Carnes strikes out the side. He adds to his career high with 12, but with 2 outs, Francisco Pena hits his 2nd home run, and Baltimore has the lead. career high. He has struck out 12, and he's done it in just 5 innings. But at the moment, probably thinking about being down 2-1. There's no better way to enjoy a Royals game than with a group of friends, employees, or customers. You receive discounted ticket rates and a complimentary message on the outfield scoreboard when you purchase 20 or more tickets. Large groups also have the opportunity for complimentary tickets, on-field presentations, and batting practice field visits, depending on the group size and availability. So bring the group out to Kauffman Stadium. Weatherman told me today that you can expect this weather all summer. It's not going to get above 79. We're going to have low humidity all the way through the end of September.
Really?
So come on out.
Was his tongue in his cheek? That'd be great.
Or maybe I was dreaming that. But we have had 2 perfect days the last 2 days.
Bring your groups out.
So many great areas to enjoy the game. Escobar 1 for 2. He has singled to left center, and he's lined to left center. Adam Jones made a running, leaping play in the gap. So this is one of those nights which goes against the thinking, well, it doesn't matter who leads off. He's only going to lead off 1 time. This is the 3rd time tonight that Escobar has started an inning. Up the middle and into center field, and 2 out of the 3 times he has led off with a base hit.
That'll work. He just feathered it up there. I'm liking his adjustments right now. Ryan, he's making some adjustments. He's going with the pitch, not trying to swing too hard. That's important.
Start talking, Hud.
Batter up. Check out these Louisville sluggers, man. They're beautiful. We just want to say thank you to Louisville for making this happen. The pink bats are beautiful. Fox, thank you for your involvement, and let's help the moms and those out there that are suffering from breast cancer. All the best to you. We're pulling for you. Thank you.
Some of the guys are using these bats today and tomorrow, and those game used Louisville slugger bats will be auctioned off at MLB.com. Proceeds split between the Susan G. Komen Foundation and Stand Up to Cancer. Look at that. Susan G. Komen since '82, $920 million in research and $2 billion in funding for education and screening.
One of these years, we're going to find a cure. It's going to happen. It's going to be unbelievable. What a celebration we'll have.
Line to right field. Mike Moustakas is 1 for 3. And now they begin to move around in the Orioles bullpen. Tillman's at 94 pitches with nobody out in the 5th inning, and the Royals have 2 on and nobody out. Middle of the order coming up.
Well, they know how Nathan Carnes has done such a great job this afternoon, and his pitch count's getting up there. In order for him to qualify for a W, they got to get that lead and hold it. Good swing, waited on it, hit off the end of the bat. Escobar did a nice job not trying to push the envelope. 1st and 2nd, nobody out. Locane, who's been one of their clutch hitters with runners in scoring position this year, hitting .381. See if he can come through.
That's a right-hander, Alec Asher, getting ready. Royals have 8 hits in 4+ innings against Tillman. Kane has a double. Big number right now for the Royals is 5 left on base in the first 4 innings. And of the 5, 4 in scoring position.
Locate, you know, that's a good idea to bring the infielders in a little bit for Locate, but I want to see him swing the bat here. If he does, if he would bunt, move the runners over, leaves first base open, they're not going to pitch to Haas. Showalter, the manager, probably won't do it, but let's just see. I'd like to see Locate. He's hitting .381 with runners in scoring position, swinging. If he gives you something good to hit. If he doesn't, let Haas hit with the bases loaded.
And he's the one Royal, whether he's swinging the bat well or not, all year has been willing to take his walks. How many times did we say in the month of April the Royals' biggest issue on offense is guys trying to do too much? That gets away from Pena. 3 balls, no strikes, and runners at second and third.
Pena did all he could. That ball was in the left-handed box, you know, to hit his shin guard, and the shin guard, you know, it's hard plastic. It kicked off to his right. You know, not a lot he could have done with that now. So you can't put the blame on him. Tillman getting a little bit tired now.
The Orioles just took the lead in the top of the 5th inning, and now the Royals have runners at second and third and nobody out in the 5th. Fastball line to right center field. Smith will make the play, and that'll tie the game. Moustakas' first couple steps were away from second base. I don't know if he could have tagged and gone to third, but his thought was trying to score if that ball got down.
Yeah, no, you said it right. That's exactly what happened. Fastball, 3-0, right down the middle. Kane, nothing wrong with that. He got a sac fly, maybe more, but that angle, Moose thought it was going to get by him. But by the time he tagged, it was too late. Stay right where you are, especially with a hot hitter coming up. 2 hot hitters, Hosmer and Perez. Tie game, now looking to go ahead, and you can't find a better go-ahead RBI guy in the league than this guy.
Pounded foul. And looking at that replay again, I think even if Moustakas goes directly back to second base on that fly ball, he's not going anywhere anyway.
No.
Wasn't hit that deep.
Okay, I said you're not going to find a better guy to knock in those runs in the league, go ahead runs. I lied. Albert Pujols is the only guy ahead of Haas this year.
Since 2015.
My bad. Still in pretty good company.
No balls and 2 strikes. He's gone after a couple of, at best, borderline pitches from Tillman. With a runner at second base and 2 outs back in the 3rd inning, it was clear Tillman was pitching around Eric, and he took the walk. And now he's expanded the strike zone in this at bat. 100 pitches for Tillman in 4 1/3 innings. And remember, this is a guy making just his 2nd big league start this year. After starting the season on the disabled list with a sore right shoulder, he went 93 pitches in his first start. That was on Sunday, and 100 today in the big inning. And remember, we talked about this in the 4th. Merrifield was at the plate. Soler was at second. Witt was fouling off pitches left and right. And we said in that inning, if the Royals didn't score, which they didn't, it would be disappointing. But goal was accomplished to drive up his pitch count. One and two.
Okay, now Haas wants to knock in that run in the worst way. But he's got to be able to find a pitch that he can handle. Now, it doesn't have to be down the middle. We've seen him stretch out with those long arms and reach those pitches that are 3 or 4 inches off the outside part of the plate and drive him into left field. But he's got to see him up. Better high ball hitter than he is a low ball hitter.
Two and two.
And that's the whole key for a pitcher trying to get ahead of the hitter. See what he's doing now? Now he's trying to get the hitter to chase. And yeah, he'll throw 2 or 3 up there. He might even try to throw him a chase pitch right now.
Still 2-2. He'd like to have that one back.
He fought the cookie off. He's going to make him do it again.
From 0-2 to 3-2. And this is most likely Tillman's last batter. Asher warmed up, ready to go in the bullpen, and Tillman will be making his 105th pitch. And Salvador Perez, who's just as hot as Hosmer, is waiting on deck. Good take. A walk after being down 0-2.
Beautiful job there. Haas, he is locked in. He knows that there's other guys in the lineup that can get the job done besides him. And milking his 12th and 13th walk after that double in the first time up.
Chevy called to the bullpen for the Orioles. Coming up with 2 on and 1 out. Remember, if you can't catch a game on TV, you can stream games live on your mobile device. Download the Fox Sports Go app. Log in and stream the Royals. Moustakas at second. Hosmer at first, 1 out. Alec Asher comes on to face Salvador Perez.
Asher, he's got a decent ERA. Made a couple of starts for the Birds this season. He's got a fastball low to mid-90s, likes to sink it. Slider curve change, got the basic 4. Let's see what Salvi can do now. Decent average with runners in scoring position. Carnes needing to lift.
Fastball fouled away. Salvi drove in the Royals' first run in the second. And with runners at first and second and 2 down in the third, he lined out to short. first time any Royal has faced Alec Asher, at least in the big leagues. You may have seen him in the minor leagues. Nailed him
for the team.
It sounded like it got him on the elbow guard, which doesn't mean it didn't hurt, but if you're going to get hit, that's why you've got that on your arm.
Take one for the team. Two-seamer got away from him. Look at all the fans in the background with their mouths open. Oh, yeah, that does hurt. Slow motion camera's a beautiful thing, isn't it? Ah, it's fun to watch. Now look at Dave Island here. He's giving Carnegie some tips here. Keep it up. Positive reinforcement. Says we're going to get you some runs right here. Some more runs.
Fouled away by Bonifacio. Moustakas is at third. Hosmer is at second. And Perez is at first. Two of those runners are gifts, a walk and a hit batter.
This is just the 10th time this year the Royals have had them loaded. 1 for 10. Salvi's hit off the bag here at the K. That was the only hit. Started turning the Royals' fortunes.
0-2.
This is the one he wanted right here. Won't get that one again.
Still 0-2. Royals left runners at second and third in the second inning. Runners at first and second in the third inning. They left a runner at second in the fourth, and now they have the bases loaded, 1 out in the fifth. And Bonifacio hits it to left field. That should get the job done. Mancini plays it to third, and the Royals take the lead. Jorge Bonifacio down in the count, gets a sac fly.
Two sac flies in the inning. Lopine got it all tied up, knocking Escobar in, and now 0-2. Bonifacio went with it. Now he didn't barrel it, but he got it there deep enough to score moves with no problem. Excellent job getting a run home. Another one.
All right, Hud, cover your ears. He's due.
Okay.
Ball 1 to Soler.
I like you calling dialing 8. Now we used to call it dialing 8, but you don't dial 8 anymore out of a hotel. You use your cell phone.
Yep. That's what you would hit for long distance.
Back in the day, you wanted to call out of your hotel room, you had to get 8. Dial 8.
2 balls, no strikes. Soler is 2 for 2. He is single to left, and he hit a little bloop into shallow center field, which was misread by Jones and resulted in a double. Machado, nice play in the hole. That ball is hit hard. And the Orioles get the force at second base. The Royals get 2, a couple of sac flies. Kane and Bonifacio to retake the lead.
It's Miller time, brought to you by Miller Lite. Nate was great. Now he's not in there any longer, but he had career high in strikeouts. 12 strikeouts, 9 with the curveball, 2 with the fastball, 1 with the changeup. He was outstanding, and his teammates came back and got him a couple runs and given him the lead. Now it's up for the pin to win. Fantastic job, Nate.
He certainly did that. In his last 3 starts, he has struck out 7, 10, and 12. And he had 12 strikeouts before the 5th inning was even over tonight.
Dealing.
And this is Seth Maness. 2 balls and no strikes. Chevy called to the bullpen, and we are watching baseball medical history tonight with Seth Maness. 2 balls and 1 strike on Chris Davis. Seth Maness has or had a torn ulnar collateral ligament. That's the ligament that, when it tears, requires Tommy John surgery. Left field, deep, and Bonifacio leaping just over his glove. And Chris Davis greets Seth Maness with a game-tying home run.
That's not how you welcome a guy back. Although Davis would say yes, and so would his teammates. Big and strong. Fastball elevated right there. Now he doesn't like the pitches up there, but he got this one. And it just sailed. Had good backspin. Go ahead, Rhino.
0-1 on Trumbo. So the UCL, the ulnar collateral ligament, when that tears, when it tears significantly, requires Tommy John surgery. It will not heal on its own. So that's where you transplant a ligament from another part of the body and transplant it into the elbow. Well, Seth Maness is trying to come back from a torn ulnar collateral ligament by having it repaired.
Not replaced.
Not replaced. And that's his specialty right there. He is a ground ball machine when he is on, and Trumbo grounds out to short. So for, I think, most baseball fans, Seth Maness coming in today for the Royals. Oh, hi, Monty, by the way.
Hi.
Jeff Montgomery joins us. For most baseball fans, Seth Maness coming into the game tonight, you know, big deal. Hopefully he comes back. But for the medical world within baseball, they're really paying attention to what he's going to do this year.
Yeah, a big accomplishment. I talked with Seth a little bit over in Tampa, and he was excited about the fact that they were able to really kind of turn up the timetable on his ability to come back. Unfortunately, he gets welcomed back with a home run.
And nobody feels worse than he does. But he's got experience, and I saw him in spring training pitching. He was still a couple of weeks away from facing live pitching, but live hitting. He looked really good. He's got some nice life to his ball. He's got a good sinker, slider, and I like his tempo. Now he made the one bad pitch there to Davis. Hang with him. His offense will come back and pick him up.
Another ground ball.
So his return reminds me a lot of my return after coming back from, actually I had surgery on my shoulder, and the first batter I faced was a Baltimore Oriole, Rafael Palmeiro, hits a home run in the opposite field.
Well, how did it go from there?
It went well after
that.
that.
Okay. So he's got to get it out of your system, right? Trey Mancini, glad that Nate Carnes is out of the game. He has struck out twice. So when you have Tommy John surgery, the ligament replacement surgery, you're looking at 12 to 16, 12 to 18 months until they're ready to compete again at the major league level effectively. Maness is back after 8 months, but he was pitching in the minor leagues after 7 months. And because it's such a new procedure, the Royals probably could have brought him back and had him pitching competitively after 6 months, but since it's the first time, they really slowed him down. Each milestone along the way, you know, instead of giving him 2 or 3 days or 2 or 3 weeks of steady appearances before ramping him up pitches and innings. You know, they extended that maybe 3 or 4 weeks, just taking it very slow. That's a 2-out walk to Mancini, bringing up J.J. Hardy.
They have to think a lot of him to bring him in a game like this.
Absolutely.
Even though it's May, still you have the Cardinals has worked hard. The offense got the lead to put him out there after that, all that procedure in the big leagues. They have confidence in him. He's in his 4th season. The years he spent were with the Cardinals.
Now there have been some guys along the way, like Dylan Bundy, who pitched last night for the Orioles. He had a torn ulnar collateral ligament back in 2012, and he had a plasma injection. Hit well to center. Kane is back, and he's got it, bumping into the wall. But Bundy eventually needed Tommy John surgery. Orioles get 1 and tie the game in the top of the 6th. Bottom of the 6th inning, and this is our Sonic Slam inning. Brandon Moss will lead off. He had a long home run last night. Our contestant is Chuck Ulansky from Paola. If the Royals hit a home run out of the park in this inning, Chuck wins $400. And of course, if the Royals hit a grand slam out of the park, Chuck wins $25 grand from Sonic and the Royals. Alec Asher got the last 2 outs of the 5th inning in relief of Chris Tillman, so he stays on for the 6th. And Moss into the corner. Royals regain the lead. And $400 is on its way to Paola. Chuck Ulansky is the winner in our Sonic Slam inning.
Way to go, Chuck, old boy. 4-seamer. Moss hunting the fastball. Got it middle in and didn't miss it. Top spin, too, now. Last night's had a little backspin. 2 nights now in a row. Long homers and nice homers. Very good to see Moss kind of getting the head out and making some contact. The guy's he's incredibly strong. And he don't hit too many hold your breathers. They're out of the yard when he hits it.
That ball get out in a hurry.
Oh.
Another tie-breaking home run too. 4 out of 6 on the season for Moss now at broken ties.
So hasn't hit as many as he would like. He's not getting as many hits as he would like, but he's hit meaningful home runs. Chuck Ulansky, the winner in our Sonic Slam inning, and he's still on the hook as Merrifield is having some trouble getting back into the batter's box after that foul ball. He's had a painful series so far. Remember, he was drilled in the ribs last night by Michael Gibbons that took his breath away.
Whenever you foul a ball off yourself like that, you're saying that was a bad pitch.
Oh for 2, but 2 long at bats against Tillman. Took 20 pitches for Tillman to get decisions from Merrifield in the 2nd and 4th innings. Line to right field. Smith coming up and makes a sliding play.
Buzzard luck for Whitley.
You have a chance to hit a grand slam with tickets. The Price Chopper Grand Slam 4-pack includes 4 View Reserve tickets to any Sunday through Thursday home game, 4 Royals baseball caps for just $44. The Price Chopper Grand Slam 4-pack can be purchased exclusively at any area Price Chopper location. Bud?
That's Grand Slam 4-pack.
Thank you.
You got it, bud.
Easy for me to say.
Okay. Now that, I don't know how that missed Esky. That looked like it got him. Yeah, they were going to replay it. Look at Walker over there on the phone.
Two 2-0 on Escobar.
Royals playing baseball now, Monty.
Gotta like the way they've really kind of changed things up, and this guy at the top of the lineup maybe been part of that.
Right.
It doesn't make any statistical sense other than the Royals just win when Alcides Escobar leads off. It doesn't necessarily mean that he's better as a leadoff hitter. In fact, surprisingly, there's no noticeable spike in Escobar's game when he leads off. There's no noticeable spike in the Royals offense over the span of his career leading off for the Royals, but they win.
And I like Ned Yost's comments the first day he had him at the top. He said it could be a trip down memory lane. Sure enough, it is.
Royals in the regular season are 33 games above 500 when Esky leads off, and 13 games above 500 in the postseason when he leads off. Mancini comes up and makes a play in left field, 2 outs.
Remember when Matt Harvey, game 1 of the World Series, Escobar steps to the plate. We all knew he was going to swing at the first pitch. He does. Hit it to Cespedes in center. He butchered it, and it was an inside the park home run. Fasten your seat belts, folks. This is going to be a great World Series.
That was one of the most electric moments I've ever experienced here.
And that's what I think of when, hey, it's going to fall in there.
Broken bat.
When Ned said, let's take a little peek down memory lane, that's what I thought of immediately. Good swing by Moose. It'll take it, man. Good for him. Multi-hit game. Hit it off the end of his bat. See the 2-seamer moving away from him. But that bat died a hero. He'll take it.
Do that 3 or 4 times a night, wouldn't you?
Oh, gladly.
Moss opened the inning with a home run to regain the lead for the Royals. And with 2 outs, a Moustakas single bringing Kane to the plate. Kane doubled in the 3rd and hit a sac fly in the 5th. Ball 1 inside.
Alec Asher. Thanks, Ryan Ray. Asher Low to mid 90s fastball, sinker, slider, curve. He's not, looks like he's missing over the middle some. Ooh.
Got to pitch up and just got underneath it. Inning over. Orioles had just tied it in the top of the 6th inning with a home run. The Royals regain the lead as Brandon Moss hits his 6th of the year. Royals baseball is brought to you by Thoroughbred Ford. Every day there's a great deal waiting for you at Thoroughbred Ford. By Steel Outdoor Power Equipment. Find a servicing Steel dealer at steeldealers.com or search STIHL. And brought to you by Academy Sports and Outdoors. For all, for less. Brandon Moss has homered in the first 2 games of the series. Both times breaking a tie. Francisco Pena has homered twice tonight.
Okay, pass out some earplugs. Hang and curve. First time. Next time, fastball. First pitch, ambushed him. Got it all. He knew it. Got to make him feel special, huh, Monty? Especially growing up here.
I would think very special.
Yeah. But you know what? Hang with them. Royals are here to win. They need to get this win, get the series tonight.
Mike Minor is the 3rd Royals pitcher tonight. One and one on Pena. Hit both home runs to left field. One on a curveball, one on a fastball.
Minor fastball, slider, changeup. He'll go low to mid 90s. Maybe a 96 in there. Good arm.
Hutton Minor to me has been a very pleasant surprise. Really like the way he's thrown the baseball.
Oh, without a doubt. And you know what? The experienced pitchers that have stuff and a left-hander like him, they're valuable. And he's shown it.
I know the Royals would have loved to have seen some of that, the second half of last season. He just wasn't ready. That's why it's more of a surprise to me, knowing what he went through last summer, trying to get back, wasn't able to do it, and now here he's back. His velocity's there. I thought he was really sharp in his last outing against the Rays.
Out to Moustakas. Tough hop. Recovers, and Hosmer helps him out on the other end.
Moose very aggressive, likes to come in on balls. This one here, with Pena running, he almost could have laid back on that a little bit and taken the large hop, but he didn't, and he was able to regain, and that's good because that's a tester. That's an in-between hop and not an easy play for him. But look at Haas's soft hands, starting low to high, keeping the glove down, pulling it up. Minor says thanks.
Here's the Orioles leadoff man, Seth Smith. Strike. Let's go to Joel.
Well, Ryan, back in 2008 with Merrifield, freshman at South Carolina, went 0 for 5 in his first college game. The next night, his first hit was a home run off of Seth Maness from East Carolina. And then when he began SEC conference play shortly later that season, his first SEC hit was a home run off of Mike Minor. He had 3 home runs as a freshman. 2 of them came against his current teammates.
Interesting. Who remembers what position Witt played for South Carolina that first year?
Field. Center field until Jackie Bradley Jr. came, right?
That's right, and he was all conference as a center fielder. So you think of Witt as an infielder who can also play the outfield, but for his college career and into his early years in the Royals organization, it was actually the other way around. He was more of an outfielder who could also play the infield. So when he plays the outfield and looks comfortable, it's because he spent a lot of time out there. 2-2. Hosmer will take it himself. 2 down in the 7th inning. Monty, we didn't get a chance to spend a whole lot of time on Nate Carnes. We looked at some of the replays of all of his strikeouts. He had 12. I am amazed, and it has to do with the spin on his breaking ball, how many bad swings he's gotten in his last 3 starts on that pitch.
Yeah, and it's almost like the hitters have no clue that it's a breaking ball. They're reading fastball out of that hand, even though he's got that spike on the curve ball grip. They're not picking anything up like that. And pitches that are really essentially what my dad would always say, they couldn't hit him with an ironing board. They couldn't hit him with an ironing board.
Inside to Adam Jones.
Yeah, we're going to see some of these what we'll call spike curves.
Yep.
And that's a different situation. That's a 2-strike pitch, a chance to lock a guy up and freeze him. And really nice job.
Foul ball.
Now, where it gets confusing with all the new metrics is the spin rate. Okay, you know, you hear about that term spin rate. Now he's got good depth on his breaking ball. Obviously, ask the Baltimore Orioles what his spin rate was. They'll say it's got to be at the top. He's 37th, which is below average in spin rate. So explain that.
Yeah, it's hard to really put an explanation on that because those pitches these are all-stars that are missing pitches that are bouncing in front of the plate.
Future Hall of Famers.
Yeah. A lot of things in this game that numbers will never explain.
No, and the numbers people think they got it figured out. They don't. And it helps explain some of the stories, and it's interesting, and I think it's helpful.
Two and two on Jones. That's James Hoy saying no swing. Jones and Salvi are having some fun at the plate. I think Salvi said, "You went around." Jones said, "No, I didn't."
That's right. Make a pitch here. Pop him up.
He went around there. Mike Minor comes out of the pen. He faces 3 and retires 3. Stretch time at Kauffman Stadium. The Royals lead by 1.
head to Boston. Chris Sale gets his 4th win. 7 innings, 2 hits, 3 runs, and yeah, he had the strikeouts too. 12 of them. Guys, let's put this in perspective. Luis Severino, Max Scherzer, Chris Archer, Nate Karns have had back-to-back 10K games this year. Jacob deGrom has done it in 3 straight. Chris Sale, 7 straight double-digit games.
He's got a chance to tie the major league record, which he already shares with Pedro Martinez.
Oh.
And to further put that into perspective, the Royals have only had 6 different pitchers in history to have back-to-back 10 strikeout games, and Sale has 7 consecutive 10 strikeout games.
You know, until he faces the Royals, we get him pretty good. That's impressive.
1-1 on Hosmer. 1-2 on Hosmer. Here's the list. Kevin Appier in '96 had 3 consecutive starts, but Bill Butler, an original Royal, Brett Saberhagen, Cy Young winner, Zach Greinke, Cy Young winner, Yordano Ventura 2 years ago, and now Nate Karns, the only Royals with back-to-back 10 strikeout games. Hosmer muscles it into right field. He's on to begin the bottom of the 7th inning. And he's on for the 4th time tonight.
That's right. A double and his 12th and 13th walks. And now that little topspin liner. Inside, stayed on top of it. You know, his luck's changing. It's really working. Like a little cutter, huh, Monty?
Exactly what it was. Not a bad location either. He just had enough at the bat head out in front to put it in play.
If you go back to last night, Eric Hosmer has now reached in 6 consecutive plate appearances. Oh, 2.
Guys, I was on the radio with some guys in Baltimore before the series, and they were all downer on the Royals and talking about the offense and the Orioles coming in and going to just kind of turn through the Royals. And I think the way Hosmer's turned things around, and I was talking about the way that this team started to turn things around in Tampa, really good signs. And we know Eric Hosmer has the ability to carry this team offensively for a very extended period, and we're seeing it now.
And you know what helps is Salvi heating up behind him. He's hot behind him. They're like going, oh my gosh, we can't put him on Hosmer on base. We got to pitch to him as well. And then Locane, who's hitting in front of them. Moose. 2, 3, 4, 5 hitters in the Royals lineup is starting to pick it up.
Look out. Salvi stares out at Alec Asher. He stares back at Salvi. Just outside. 2 balls, 2 strikes. Salvi's already been hit tonight by Alec Asher. That was the first guy that Asher faced when he came out of the Orioles bullpen in the 5th inning. Got him with a fastball. So Asher doesn't back down and gets the first out of the 7th inning.
Kind of like that, you know. Asher, he's not afraid to come in there, and he, when Salvi stepped out of the box and stared him down, Asher, he's looking right at Salvi, saying, you know, get in the box, and even spit towards him. I kind of like that. You know, that's a classic confrontation right there. Of hey, look, I'm going to back you off the plate. I'm not going to give you anything to hit, you know, out over.
Down and away to Bonifacio. He had a sac fly to left field against Asher in the 5th inning, putting the Royals in front. 3-2 at that point.
You know, Asher, 6'4", 230, 25 years old, looking for a spot out there, and he wants to impress his manager. And you know, he's got called up from the minors earlier this year. He's made a couple of starts for him. They're not sure exactly what his future is going to be, but I like what I see out of him.
Yeah, he's got really good stuff.
Yeah.
Good changeup. 1 ball, 2 strikes.
Yeah, he's got the stuff, and he's also got the courage on the mound to pitch inside. That's one thing a lot of young pitchers oftentimes lack, is the ability to pitch inside effectively. They can be wild in there, but to be able to get strikes and get outs, that's the impressive part about this young.
We were just talking about Chris Sale. Alec Asher and Chris Sale were high school teammates in Lakeland, Florida. Asher signed with the Rangers and then was traded to the Phillies in the deal that involved Cole Hamels. So he was a highly regarded Rangers prospect. Mancini comes over from left field and makes a play on Bonifacio. 2 down. Got into a little bit of trouble last year and was suspended for 80 games while he was with the Phillies for violating MLB's performance enhancing drug policy. So that cost him a big chunk of the season, which was a rough one for him. He had an ERA of almost 9.5 in his first 7 starts for the Phillies, and then had to deal with the embarrassment and then losing time because of the suspension. So he's got a lot to prove this year.
Yep. You can tell by his demeanor.
Jorge Soler, 2 hits. And the hardest hit ball for him tonight was an out when he grounded out to third in the 5th inning. Slider for a strike. When he hit his single, the ball was hit 75 miles an hour. When he hit his double, it was hit 76 miles an hour, but when he grounded out, that ball was hit 114 miles an hour.
And that's, I think it's the same speed he had in Tampa, where it hit it in between the third baseman and the shortstop, and it went all the way to the wall. You rarely see a double when it's hit between those 2 guys over there in that 5.5, 6 hole.
To Machado, and again a force at second base to end the inning. So a leadoff single, no runs for the Royals in the bottom of the 7th.
That's right. Payne just started it with the first blow, and that was in the 3rd inning, a solo homer, his first of the year. Next time up in the 5th, he went deep again. 2 for 2, 2 solo homers. All right, now it's Davis's turn. He steps into the 6th inning, ties it at 3. And then here he comes, Moss to the rescue. His punch hopefully will be the knockout. And that gave him the lead. Solo home run in the 6th inning. Moss is 6th on the season, 2nd in consecutive nights. Oh, ho, ho. Another excellent ball game we got tonight here at the K.
Second inning for Mike Minor. Trying to get the game to Kelvin Herrera for a save. But the save might be right here. And Machado way up in the air in shallow left. Escobar goes out to get it. And I say the save might be right here because Minor is going to get Machado, Davis, and Trumbo.
Yeah, I agree with you, Ryan. This is going to be the telltale. This 8th inning, 9th inning, going to have the bottom of the order, provided Mike Minor gets through this. But he's ready for it. Nobody warming up behind him. He understands what his job is.
He's extremely confident right now. Like you said, after his outstanding outing in Tampa, and now here, he's feeling pretty good about himself. Be careful.
So if he does his job, then Herrera would get the lower part of the Orioles order. And it's 0-2 on Davis.
I really like the way Mike Minor attacks hitters. He doesn't waste any time. He knows exactly what he's going to throw. Doesn't take much time. Man on man.
Very smooth mechanics. Look at it. Never off balance hardly at all. Takes his. It looks like he's wearing slippers out there. You just watch it. Watch him step down and perfect balance. Stays right on the rubber. Doesn't even leave. Karn's similar. I like those guys. They don't have to leave the rubber very far. They just kind of get right back up there.
I don't know if he's changed his mechanics at all since having shoulder surgery, but let's just assume that he hasn't. You know, there are certain guys. Well, let's get back to Chris Sale again, where you go, how does his arm not come off every time he throws the ball? And he's had no problems. And then you look at a guy like Minor and you wonder, how did he ever have arm problems? I mean, that's how you'd like to teach it to a young guy, right?
Absolutely. You got tremendous textbook mechanics.
Still 1-2.
Davis is dangerous, especially down there. Pitch him down there, man. That was out over the middle of the plate. He scares me.
Climb the ladder on him right here.
Yeah. See what you can do. That'll keep it way away from him. There you go.
That's his second strikeout. And Minor is retired all 5 he has faced. Time for the unlimited baseball break, brought to you by T-Mobile. I've never seen this before, but it came across my app, my MLB.com app today. Bryce Harper avoided arbitration and signed his contract for 2018. Usually that's what we hear in December or January or February, but he had one more controllable year with the Nationals, and they took care of 2018 today. Wow. Mike Minor takes care of the Orioles in the 7th and 8th innings. Moss will lead off the bottom of the 8th. Three Royals to the bottom of the 8th, and the difference tonight is Brandon Moss leading off the 6th inning with our Dodge drive of the game.
Yeah, and I'm telling you what, he could go on a nice little run. Let's hope so. He hit one last night in the drink up there in the hydration station, and he hit one with topspin over the bullpen there in right field. So let's hope that he can continue to swing that hot bat, continue to put runs up there.
This is Donnie Hart, 27th round draft pick of the Orioles 4 years ago. Last year's minor league pitcher of the year in the Orioles organization.
Not an overpowering guy. Look at that. Looks a little bit like a left-handed Darren O'Day. How about this? 85 to 89 sinker. Slider change. They say he's fearless, and that's what you've got to be up here to survive.
Seth Smith has had a busy night. He makes a play in right field. One down in the bottom of the 8th. Kelvin Herrera's getting ready for the 9th, hoping for a refreshing save from Price Chopper and Aquafina. Sign up at mypricechopper.com to save on Aquafina when the Royals get a save, and that's what Herrera did last night in the Royals 3-2 win. And as it stands right now, he'll be facing Scope, Mancini, and Hardy. The Orioles 6, 7, and 8 hitters. Here's Whit Merrifield with one out. That's hit well to center field. Jones is back. The ball carries, and it's off his glove. And Whit is into second base with a one-out double. He's had good at-bats all night.
All night, and really a lot of the season, because he's had some hard luck. I talked about the second time he lined out tonight at buzzard luck, and you know what? A lot of hitters can agree with that. But this ball is driven well. I mean, it is torched. And Jones didn't think it was hit as hard as it was, and he couldn't reach it. Nice to see Merrifield get out there and get him a knockdown. That's Merrifield's first double of the year. Shocking, but he'll come along. They'll keep leaving him in there. You got to have Whitley in there. He's too good a hitter, and he's gonna make things happen. You just got to stay patient with him.
Inside to Escobar. So 8 of the 9 Royals have a hit tonight. The only Royal without a hit is Bonifacio, and he has an RBI. Royals have 12 hits against the Orioles tonight, and Escobar has 2 of those. And a run scored.
Crossfire deception type action. This guy Donnie Hart has now. They're going to be right-handed hitters are going to see it a little bit better than the lefty will. Matter of fact, a lot better, because you're going to see it way out there. Lefty starts behind his back.
Merrifield to third, and then he hit the brakes. So he didn't like his jump, and rather than follow through, maybe he did the right thing.
Yeah, they're nowhere close to him over there, so he can get a lot bigger lead. And then, you know, left-handers, the way they're faced on the rubber and they're looking away from you, a little bit easier to get a bigger lead and get a better jump and steal third.
One and 2 on Escobar.
The report I have on Donnie Hart is he's fearless, and I look down to see where he's from. He's from Texas. Those pitchers that come out of Texas have, I don't know if it's in the water there or what, but they are competitors, and they are strong guys.
Don't mess with Texas.
Exactly.
No swing. Two and 2. Royals have out-hit the Orioles 12-6. To right field. That'll get Merrifield to third. 2 down. Mike Moustakas coming up. MLB.TV Premium. It's the #1 live streaming sports service. It's back with better picture quality than ever before. You can watch every out-of-market game live at home, in the office, or on the go. Blackout restrictions do apply.
Okay, didn't work. Good try.
Hidden ball trick.
Yeah, they tried it on him. I saw the whole way. Now it was set up just perfectly, as Hart went over to back up third base on the play. Machado got the ball to throw in, and he acted like he gave it to Hart, and then he kept it. I watched the whole way, and so you know you're going to wait a little bit. You're going to wait a click because you got to be able to do it when the pitcher's off the rubber, and no taker. Got to keep your eye on that baseball.
Oh, and 2. Were you ever part of a successful hidden ball trick?
Absolutely. I played second base, and any way I could get it out for my pitcher, I'm gonna. And you know what? Accidentally dislocated a guy's finger when I surprised him, and I dropped the gate on him and tagged him, and he was not really happy about that. But it didn't matter. My pitcher was ecstatic. Got him out of a big inning.
Moustakas, shallow center field, but it hangs up there for Jones. So the Royals get Merrifield to third, and Kelvin Herrera has a 1-run lead at the top of the 9th inning. The next day, McDouble sandwiches are only $1 at participating McDonald's in the greater KC, St. Joe, and Lawrence areas. Kelvin Herrera entered the game last night with a 1-run lead to face the 6, 7, and 8 hitters. Tonight, he enters with a 1-run lead facing the 6, 7, and 8 hitters.
Okie dokie, let's see what we got now. Hey, Poppy, happy birthday to you. Yes, ma'am. Glad you're here. Hopefully you can bring us a W.
Fouled away by Scope. He was 0 for 3 tonight against Carnes and Manus. Barnes 5 innings, 2 runs. Manus 1 inning, 1 run. Minor 2 innings, no runs. 0-2 on Scope.
Upper 90s fastball, upper 80s changeup, and a slider. Yeah.
One ball and 2 strikes.
6 saves, looking for 7. Now, 3 more outs and they can get the series. Pretty impressive heavyweight offensive fight we've had tonight.
On the ground to Escobar. Herrera went down after delivering that pitch. 1 away. And here comes Nick Kenny.
Herrera with a little grimace now as he slipped and went down. Now they're checking out his left elbow. Maybe he just landed on it. But let's take a look at it again. Yeah. It kind of swung a little bit too far with that right leg, and he lost his footing. Ouch, he says, man, I haven't landed on my elbow like that ever after throwing a pitch. I don't remember seeing that. Have you? Look at them.
They are they are working on a fine for Kangaroo Court. 0-1 on Trey Mancini.
First time Mancini's ever seen Herrera. That's just a slider that was a good one.
One ball, 1 strike. Mancini has struck out twice and he has walked. He lined out to third against Herrera to lead off the 9th inning last night, and Moustakas made a diving play on the line. 2-1. Three balls, 1 strike. J.J. Hardy is on deck. Three and 2. Two down. Wicked slider on 3 and 2. Let's get a preview of Boulevard Royals live from Joel.
Well, Ryan, we will be talking about Nate Karn's career-high 12 strikeouts, most by a Royal this year. And Moss matters. Brandon Moss has a knack for breaking ties with homers. Did it last night when it was 1-1. Did it tonight when it was 3-3. And that homer, the Royals hope, will be the game-winning RBI. That reaction from Ned Yost and more coming up.
All right, Joel just has to get past J.J. Hardy. Great spot with a 98-mile-an-hour fastball. Hardy has struck out twice, and he's lined out to deep center field. Broken bat. Merrifield is there. The Royals have won the series. It is the first time this year the Royals have won back-to-back series.
El Toro! Ole! Way to go, fellas. Timely hits. Homers. Moss again with the game winner. That's right. Salvy splash could be coming. You just never know. But absolutely love the KCW for a series. A pink W.
That's right.
On top of that.
Brandon Moss. He was the difference tonight. He hit a home run last night after 5 consecutive strikeouts. He was 0 for 2 tonight. He had 1 hit tonight, and it's the game's biggest hit.
Yeah, and it was timely too. They got the lead, we got the lead, back and forth. Series is theirs. Now tomorrow's gravy. Our Honda play of the game, beautiful thing.
Baltimore Orioles came to town with the 2nd best record in the American League overall, but the best record in the American League in 1-run games, and the Royals have beaten them twice in 1-run games. 4-3 the final score. Let's go down to the field, and here's Joel.
Eric Hosmer on base 4 times tonight, and his teammates top to bottom. We're doing a lot to get on and strike when it counted. Haas, you guys have won 2 series, back-to-back series in a row for the first time this year. What's clicking so well for you guys right now?
We're pitching, playing good defense, and getting timely hitting, and that's what makes us good as a team. And you know, that's how we said we're going to break out of this thing, is take it 1 game at a time and continue.
Your eyes are shifting. You got it? All right. That feel colder than usual?
Yeah, that was a lot colder. Ooh.
For the record, Haas said he'd take it by himself. Salvi had other ideas. All right, everything clicking though.
Yeah, we're playing good baseball right now, and that's how we said we're going to get out of this, to take it 1 game at a time and just try and win each series. Nate
Carnes has gone back-to-back 10 strikeout games, strikes out 12 tonight. Why has he been so dominant?
He was nasty tonight. You know, he really had that curveball working. He was in the strike zone and wasn't missing out over the plate very much. So anytime he's going to do that, he's going to be successful.
And for you too, I mean, you always talk about it's not just you, it's the guys around you. Suddenly, everyone is starting to contribute too. When you can have the contribution of a Brandon Moss, 1 swing changing the game, and what the others are doing, how big is that?
Yeah, it's huge, and you know, we have all the confidence in the world, and that's what Mossy does. He comes up with big hits, and it's a big hit like that can get him going on a nice little streak.
All right, I know Mother's Day is tomorrow, but you get to wear the pink a couple days in a row. Any final Mother's Day thoughts or initial Mother's Day thoughts?
Happy Mother's Day to all, and we'll have a good day at the ballpark tomorrow.
Go for that sweep. Great job, Haas. Eric Hosmer on base all night long, and another Royals win. That was cold, guys.
I bet it was, even on a warm-ish night. And now the Royals have won 5 of their last 6 games. They've won back-to-back series for the first time this year. And by the way, since the 9-game losing streak, the Royals are 8-5.